on Survivor.
20 days ago, 21 people started an adventure of a lifetime. The three tribes immediately became enemies when John, an Arenaria member, drew the line in the sand, writing Saffron sucks on the Scrabble game. Disadvantage after disadvantage kept sending Saffron and Gazania to tribal council, leaving Arenaria yet to vote off a member. When the tribes swapped into three tribes, Original Saffron and Original Gazania banded together to vote off Original Arenaria.
John, get off this island. I do not trust you. Going behind my back? Real classy, dude. This is what you get. Which means Olivia is the fifth person voted out of this game.
The plan worked with the fall of John and Olivia. To Arenaria's luck, a second tribe swap placed 4 out of 5 of Original Arenaria on the same tribe. To Justin's unfortunate luck, his torch was quickly snuffed, solidifying a signal that Original Arenaria has to work to stay in the game. Although Original Arenaria had a target on their back, cracks, rifts, and rivalries were already forming. Jake and Josie could not ignore their previous shootout in the last tribal council, severing a distant line in their tribe. With the help of Zeke, Original Saffron and Original Arenaria were able to band together to vote Jake out. On the other side of things, Avery had a few more tricks up her sleeve. Mark sent her his advantage, and Avery swayed her tribe to vote her out, so she could play the advantage correctly. Everyone was in on the plan except Dinara and Amy, leading into Dinara's fatal tribal council. Now, with only 19 days left and the merge solidifying and drawing lines, who will make it to the end and who will be voted out? Hey, we merged! Bang into the merge, baby! Let's go! I'm so excited. Dude, this is gonna be epic.
Coming into the merge, everything was golden. We were set. Jake was going home on our tribe. Fine, no problem. Bye. Avery was going home on the other tribe. Perfect. We've got our 7 strong. We got the 5 over there we can pick off. And then Dinara goes home instead of Avery.
Mark wants to stay Saffron strong. He doesn't want to expand this game. And that's going to be Mark's downfall in this game.
Avery never had to play that advantage because she has a secret alliance with the Gazanians, but she played it to keep it a secret, and Mark sent her that advantage, and he's mad at her for wasting it when she never had to play it, which raises a huge issue that Mark sent her an advantage on the day of tribal council when he'd been telling us, yeah, we're going to be 7 strong, but he knew all along that Avery was going to be here in the merge.
Previously on Survivor Mallorca. After an unsuccessful blindside attempt on Julia, the two foes were split up to go to the next swap, where almost immediately at the next immunity challenge, Ari seized the chance to take Julia out of the running for individual immunity. And then came the moment that every Survivor player hopes and dreams of getting to. The highly anticipated Survivor auction. Just kidding, it's the merge. Emotions ran high as Julia realized she would be reunited with old friends and familiar foes. It was that time. Both had been preparing for days for this point. They knew it was going to happen, and they both knew they needed to be ready for when it did. Only one of them was going to end up making out of this alive, and both thought it would be them. Stay tuned for what happens next on Survivor Mallorca. Ah, the moment of truth. But who would be the one to make the first move? Both stand for what feels like hours, but could only be seconds, until one of them finally makes the first move. It's the pedophile mustache for me.
It's the abandoning the Knicks and becoming a Mavs fan for me.
It's the shitty camera angles for me.
It's the pretending to be 22 but you're really only 17 for me.
Well, it's the shirtless douchebag profile picture for me.
It's the being so far up Nico's ass you can't see for me.
Alright, I'll give you that one, but it's having the camera pointed at your crotch during the wall sit challenge for me.
Well played.
Was the night before Tribal, and all through the camp, not a player was plotting. You can check the timestamps. But Ronnie was sleeping and dreaming this day, as Francesca came down and got in his way. She declared he was chosen out of the nearly 24 to be the first boot and give up his loot.
Gazzania volunteered to go to tribal council because B and Rob simply could not coexist on the same tribe. The reason? Rob said he didn't separate his reds from his whites while doing laundry. B was so angry she refused to talk with him, creating the first true tribal divisions within Gazzania. For the good of the tribe, Rob was voted out, and B could rest easy knowing that she would not wake up with pink clothes anymore.
Tragedy. Amy and Josie, when discussing where their families are from, have uncovered a divide that cannot be worked past. Years ago, Amy's grandfather's cousin's daughter's husband's best friend didn't wait their turn at a four-way stop sign. This grand betrayal caused Josie's great-great stepfather, twice removed, to wait an extra 3 seconds on the way home. His soup was cold and he was grumpy for the rest of his life. Josie's family always remembered that day, and now she finally got her revenge by voting out Amy.
Hello? Hello? After the telephone challenge was lost by the Gazzania tribe, they decided to ditch the internet and all go to the zoo. Each tribe member was asked the most important animal to go to at the zoo. Unfortunately for Jamie, she was the only tribe member to get that question incorrect, and was henceforth voted out of the game. Her answer? Giraffes. The correct answer? The lemurs. Obviously.
John was voted out after a 2-2-2 tie. I don't know why they voted a tie. Perhaps he cried.
Two tribes enter. Two tribes vote. But one player gets to return back to the game after a car race for the ages. After living his life a quarter mile at a time, Jake took the victory over Olivia, leaving her in his dust as he rejoined his saffron tribe mates.
Trey had a great game plan. He was clever and kind and worked hard in challenges, but he had one fatal flaw. He didn't put the toilet seat down after using the bathroom, and to make matters worse, he didn't put the cap on his toothpaste. Easy boot.
We join Justin on day 17, after spending nearly the first 2 weeks immune. But there was something about him no one could forgive. After he told them, there was no going back. His favorite band was Nickelback.
Bonnie and Clyde meet Jake and Denara, an iconic duo looking to make a name for themselves. But just like the first, the wheels came off. They found themselves sitting in the middle of the road, dreaming of riding off into the sunset.
Oh, I know I love you. I find it hard to see how you feel about me.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Buff. I'm your co-host Nicole.
And I'm your co-host Amy, and boy do we have a treat for you today.
Speaking of treats, I was so excited to see them bring the Survivor auction back, but then they didn't even offer those poor starving castaways any food.
Oh, but thank God they gave them a bunch of advantages.
True. If there's anything this game needs, it's more advantages.
All right, well, like we said, we have a very special guest here with us today. You might remember him from Survivor Borneo, Survivor Outback, Survivor Africa, or any season of Survivor. That's right, the one and only Jeff Probst is here today.
Thank you. Finally, I've been wanting to get in here for so long, and it's finally working out.
Nice. Jeff, what an honor. I had no idea you'd even heard of our podcast. So tell us, what do you think of Survivor Mallorca so far?
Loving the new season.
That's great to hear. So are we. Jeff, who's your favorite to win at this point?
John.
Jeff, I hate to spoil this for you, but John got voted out a while ago. Are you not caught up on the season?
You're full of it.
No, he got voted out like 4 tribals ago, Jeff. They just hit the merge. There are only 12 players left in the game.
I've never heard anything that surprised me more than what you just said.
Well, I'm a bit surprised you came onto our show without even being caught up. I guess we'll just move on. As a Survivor host yourself, how do you think Cody and Sarah are doing hosting Survivor Mallorca?
They're good!
Oh, I'm sure that'll mean so much coming from you. We think they're doing good too. What would you say is the hardest part of being a Survivor host?
I say the same 200 words over and over and over and over and over. I'm in therapy, I say the words so often.
Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff. Hopefully Sarah and Cody will be okay by the end of this.
So apparently you haven't gotten this far into the season, but we've had some fake idols attempted to be played. What are your thoughts on fake idols?
That is not a hidden immunity idol.
No duh, Jeff. Hence the name Fake Immunity Idol.
Well, that's just me.
Right. You have to admit, though, it made some great entertainment.
Yeah, but I bet playing with these twists is a lot.
That's what happens on this
That's
show
right.
is you're being tested for real.
Well, I don't think they signed up for tests. But you're so right, Jeff. This game keeps us on our toes. I never know what to expect. Just when I think I do, something wild happens.
Right? It's a lot to keep track of. Like, even now after the auction, who has what? But enough about that. Jeff, we have a few more questions for you.
What's that?
Fans and players are dying to know. Of course, on Mallorca, contestants aren't living on a beach with each other every second of the day. So, what would you say is the biggest shock or difference about being out there?
No one wore a hat. No one wore a shirt.
Crazy.
Nobody wore sunscreen.
Oh.
And then one day you wake up and you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God.
What? How could you forget the sunscreen? That must have resulted in some very unfortunate tan lines.
Like my mask tan lines right now. No one look at my face.
Well, this is a podcast, Amy, so I think you're okay.
I'm glad they don't have to worry about the sunburn or the bugs, though.
Yeah, it's just eye strain and battery drain.
This is where we learn who is the ultimate survivor.
Who has the fastest internet connection?
And the most free time.
This is for immunity.
This? This right here? As we interview you, we are playing for immunity?
How meta can we get? Honestly, shocker. Let me guess, Cody and Sarah behind the curtain, in the attic listening in?
It never ends.
It was so good to have you on the show today, Jeff, but would you look at that? We are out of time for today.
I want to thank you again so much for joining us today, Jeff. And before we go, would you mind joining us in our outro?
Yeah, you know the words. 3, 2, 1. The tribe has spoken.
See y'all next time.
Anyone craving rice?
Amy, no.
Nobody needs to know. The Reynolds Pay. Nobody needs to know.
Am I a lady or am I a rat? Am I a rat? If I'm a rat, I'm a ladylike rat. Am I a rat or am I a lady? Am I a lady?
What a beautiful wedding. What a beautiful wedding. Says a bridesmaid to the waiter. What a shame. What a shame the poor groom's bride is a watermelon. No, I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of?
So I have half of an immunity idol, which I got from being kicked out of like the last one. So I'm trying to figure out who has the other half. So like I'm kind of like, I'm going to be going individually each person, like nudging out a little bit the people who like had things that were unknown. So like the people that had ones unknown was Ari, which I do need to ask him about his, Avery, which I did, she hasn't gotten hers back yet, and Sarah. So I need to ask all of them to see if they have the other half of the immunity idol thing that I have, which that'd be kind of cool if they do.
There's been a lot of scrambling going around. I've been playing dumb with the Gazanians. They know, I think they know we're on opposite sides at this point, you know, it's just, I haven't talked to any of them today. It just is what it is.
As in me and Ariana's on the same page, all the staff aren't going to make to the end because they're all like this. Ariana, they have wiggle room, and you can tell they have wiggle room. Saffron, we're like a big floating block, and I know that won't be okay later on because I don't want to sit next to Mark, Maggie at the end. Like, come on, like, I'm going to lose.
And of course I have to play dumb with all this because we can't let them know that Josie's our double agent.
Zeke, you are literally pulling at my last straw. Yes, I want to go to your side, but if you can't just trust me right now...
Pick off the 3 Gazanians. Then we pick off Mark and Maggie. Then we have the final 6 of the 4 Arnarians plus Josie and Amy, and we figure it out from there, but we have, and by we, I'm saying like me, Sarah, and Zeke. I kind of have final 2s with both. But we have our pick at the final 6, and we have great relationships with everyone. I have
Maggie makes a request in our Saffron Strong tribe with, it's not Saffron Strong, it's like a Hey Guys one, but it's like all of our Saffron people in it besides Amy. And then she's like, oh, let's add in Nicole. She's the one that like want to rope in all the stuff, which doesn't surprise me at all. I knew her and Nicole had this thing going on. And then like Avery and her are like, like all this stuff. So like, oh yeah. Then I'm like, oh yeah, hey, can you rope in so you can all this stuff? Dead silence. I'm like,
merge. Josie is spilling all the tea, which is great. Thank you, Josie. I'm so glad you have my back.
I obviously know which side I would rather go to, but I always could think of, okay, those people have my backs more and I trust them more because I've been with them longer, or I can go with the people that actually hear my opinions and make me feel like I'm on the top, which I don't know if I am or not. So I have two decisions to go with here, and it's going to be a really tough one tonight.
I have to get ready for work now. I'm going to be at work during this tribal council, which sucks so much because things are crazy. I really hope somebody is able to let me know if I need to change my vote right before tribal council happens.
I'm going to get killed after this vote, and I have a feeling I'm going to be target number one for the next couple of votes from their tribe. I'm hoping our tribe can stay strong, and I do have an idol if I need to play it for this vote or the next vote.
Yeah, where the lines are drawn. I think this is by far the biggest vote to go.
All right, Avery, this first merge vote either tends to be a little chaotic or someone is an easy vote. What's the case this time around?
Wait, I am not muted. I don't know. This is definitely the most nervous I've been going into a tribal. I'm, definitely, I don't know. It's been pretty quiet, which I wasn't expecting, and I find it rather unnerving. So I think that the chaos may begin tonight, at that physical tribal, because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm just scared.
Okay, Amy, so hearing Ari say that this vote is going to set the tone for the rest of the season, and Avery saying, someone that's been to 7 out of 9 tribal councils, saying this is the most nervous she's been, how awesome are you feeling sitting here with the immunity necklace around you?
I'm feeling great. Couldn't be happier. Me and Nicole had a lot of fun with this challenge. So yeah, I mean, I also felt like it was really quiet. So I am just very glad that I have this immunity necklace around my neck.
B, what's the vote about for you tonight? Establishing trust or drawing a line in the sand? And even if it's not necessarily you drawing the line, do you think lines are going to be drawn tonight at the first merge tribal?
I 100,000% think that lines are going to be drawn tonight. There's no doubt in my mind that this vote is the determining factor for the rest of the game, and what happens tonight is going to affect everyone's game in some form or another. For me personally, this is both drawing a line in the sand, but also my opportunity to ensure, or I guess make sure people know that I'm loyal to them, if that makes sense.
All right, Mark, about that. Do you think former tribal lines are a factor in tonight's vote?
I do, but I think everyone also has crossed over tribal lines multiple times this season. So I don't know if anyone up until this point has gotten away with not aggravating someone already. So that's what makes this vote so interesting, because I think we're all putting our trust in some people tonight that have done something to make it seem like they probably wouldn't vote with us, yet we're hoping they do. So I don't think anyone's safe tonight, and I'm certainly nervous.
All right, Josie, Is the vote tonight about surviving at this point, or is it more about positioning yourself for tomorrow?
It's a little bit of both. I think that after tonight, what a couple people have said, the line will be drawn in the sand, and there will be a definite of two sides. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Okay, Julia, what's the significance of the random pairings in the immunity challenge? Is the conversation strictly related to the challenge itself, or do you sort of naturally talk as well?
Cody, why did you choose me for that question? That's what I'm wondering. No, I mean, I can't speak for anyone else because they all had their own private conversations, but I thoroughly enjoyed working with Ari. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. He was fun to work with, and it was definitely better than I anticipated going into it.
All right, so going off of this, Nico, do you feel like this is the case for you? How did your pairing with Mark impact your gameplay?
Yeah, we had zero fun at all. Like, it really sucked the whole time. I mean, it's Mark getting forced to work with me. So that's tough for anyone. It's a tough draw. But yeah, I think, Mark and I were on a previous tribe together and then didn't get to talk for a couple of days. And, I think we missed the mark in terms of what the judges were looking for in the challenge based on the scores. But I think we put a lot of hard work and effort into that, and we were proud of it. So I think we were mostly focused on working on the challenge, but it's also nice to hear how other people are seeing the game and whether, two paths that, were working together at one point could continue to do so or not.
Okay, we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit for Maggie. Something we haven't really touched on is the auction. Were you excited to have that reward challenge right before the merge? And what's your take on the unknowns that creates in the game?
I was definitely excited that we got to do an auction at all. I kind of not anticipated that. I'm glad that I got to bid on something. And I got a pretty good, everybody knew what it was. I get to avoid a rock draw for a vote and be immune for that. So I definitely think the hidden rewards that people bid on were a bit of a threat just because obviously we don't know what they are. And yeah, I don't know, but I think that's just kind of comes with the territory. Everybody knows how an auction goes, but usually on Survivor, it's with food. So, it was a little bit different this time, but it definitely made you keep eye on people that you might not have done before. Yeah.
All right. Sarah, how did you feel about making it to the merge? Did you feel like you could celebrate and have a merge feast, or did you feel like it was just immediate gameplay and going into game mode?
I'm just excited to be here, honestly. Who doesn't want to get to the merge? So, that's really cool. Obviously there's going to be some gameplay. You have to go in. If you don't go into the merge with gameplay, what are you doing on Survivor? Really. So I think there's a little bit of both, but yeah, feast it up.
All right, Zeke. Simple question. Still no idols have been played this season. Well, real idols. Do you think idol will be played tonight?
I don't think an idol will be played tonight because I think people are playing really cagey and no one really knows where everyone else stands.
All right.
Question answer. Like it.
Nicole was not able to be here. She's at work. So I do have her tribal question and her response. Her question was about how to navigate the vote with so many different advantages and potential idols being played tonight. So I am going to try to share my screen so that you can see her recording.
Okay, so my question is, in a season with different advantages and idols, how do you navigate the vote tonight? Are you concerned that an idol has not been played all season? And do you expect one to be played at the first merge tribal? Well, first of all, the first part, all these advantages and idols, how do we navigate the vote? It makes it really tough because you can have a plan, but you don't know what's lurking out there. There are so many advantages from this idol hunt, and now we just had this Survivor auction where a bunch of other advantages just got passed around. So you just kind of have to make your plan, hope for the best. Does it concern me that an idol has not been played yet? Well, it does make you think there have to be one or two people with idols, right? We know Trey left with an idol in his pocket, but where are the others? You know, we've been at this for 21 days. They have to have them found. So, I mean, that is, if these idols are even real, I'm starting to wonder if they're all just fake idols and we're all just a bunch of suckers. But, yeah, it is a little concerning that none of them have been played because I don't know where these idols are. And do I expect one to be played tonight? It depends on who's feeling nervous and who has them. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to be very stressed out.
All right, so that was Nicole's response. I'm going to stop sharing that.
And with that, it is time to vote. Go ahead and message in your host chat. Okay. Of the votes. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you would like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Yeah, that'd be me. I'm gonna play this one for Ari.
Zeke stands, and Zeke, this is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Ari will still count. I'll read the votes. First vote, Ari. Ari. You were very cool, but I'm just praying it's you. This vote does not count.
Second vote is Avery. You're very cool, but I'm just praying it's you.
Avery. Sorry it had to be like this. I wish you the best.
Okay, that's 2 votes for Avery. Ari, time to draw the line. Does not count.
Ari, here's the line. Does not count.
Next vote, B. Sorry I couldn't vote for the other person I promised.
That's 2 votes Avery, 1 vote B. Avery, I'm sorry, you're just way too dangerous in this game. It's nothing personal.
Great. Next vote. Ari, I may suck at challenges, but hopefully I'm still here tomorrow and you aren't. Does not count.
3 votes Avery, 1 vote B. Ari, gotta shoot to score. Cheers, man. Does not count.
Next vote. Ari, radio silence from you today and every other day, bud. Someone had to go. Does not count.
3 votes Avery, 1 vote B. 2 votes left. Avery, I see you as a very persuasive and powerful player.
And the person voted out tonight and first member of our jury is Avery.
Avery, if you have any last words, go ahead.
Yes, I was waiting for you guys to vote me out. So honestly, like, props to all of you. Like, I came here to play, and I'm just appreciate getting to work with every single one of you. I'm glad to be the first jury member. And yeah, I'm happy that, like, you guys gave me the opportunity to work with all of you, and I'm gonna miss all of your faces as well. It's been great.
Thank you, Avery. Thanks for playing. We'll miss your enthusiasm.
I'm gonna miss you.
Bye, guys.
All right, with that, we have our first member of the jury, and you survived the merge vote. Congratulations. Tough night. Head back to camp.